Hey everybody, dealing with life storms can really be tricky. And for those of us who are on a spiritual path, it can become a draining exercise in futility. While few possess the skills to calm life's storms, we do have a greater power, and that's one that we often forget. And we're going to talk about that in today's broadcast when we come back. And we're back, guys. This is Dr. John Michael Salvato. Welcome to another installment of Inner Alchemy online, the science of spiritual living. This is a broadcast we do every day with the hope and the sincere desire that we might share just a little bit of insight, a little idea, thought or two to help make your journey on that pathway to living a more magical life just a little bit easier. And, we live at a time when so many of us are experiencing the winds of change, the conflicts, and even the adversity in various sectors of our lives, and maybe in all of those sectors of our lives at times. And very few would disagree that this seems to be a stormy season for our society as a whole, and maybe even for the world. And as magical thinkers, we may wish that we could cultivate the skills that the medicine men and medicine women use to be able to stop a storm in its tracks. And I don't doubt that each one of us has that power. But those skills take time. See, life storms aren't always easy to avoid. And if we allow life storms to throw us off balance, to drench us in despair or anger, then they can be very painful. And the result of that is suffering in ourselves and in so many of the others around us. But just because you can't calm the storm doesn't mean that you can't calm yourself. You see, when I started working on my own personal mental wellness program, I realized how much of what was happening in my life was the direct result of stress, whether that was physical stress, the stress of being in pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, financial stress, political stress, you name it. It felt like all of these storms were converging upon me, and I wasn't sure how much more I could take. Now, I don't know how many of you feel the same way, and if you do, go ahead and drop a comment in the comments below, but I will share with you what I found. I don't have to calm the storms around me. I have to calm myself. And when I do that, the storms will eventually pass, as storms always do. You see, the storm only comes for a season, but we are stuck with us for a lifetime. And so if we work instead of trying to control the storms on controlling the way we respond to the storms, then great changes begin to take place. And at first they may be almost imperceivable, so small. But the skill that comes from my experience, the skill that comes from rebooting my body's ability to communicate between my gut feelings and wisdom and the brain, which deals with science and knowledge. Of course, this is going to be a phone call in the middle of it. Something has got to interrupt us at every point in these broadcasts. And that just goes to show there would be a time when that would make me completely nuts. It throws me off. The part of the being on the spectrum thing is that I like things to be in order. The people that are upstairs that are making crazy noise, who weren't making any noise before I started this, would just be making me crazy. But like I said, I started to look at what I was going to do for my own mental wellness, and that meant rebooting that connection between the gut feelings and the wisdom and the brain science and knowledge centers in my body, so that the hormonal response to stress and to unexpected things like phone calls in the middle of a presentation, all of these things began to not diminish in occurrence, but they began to diminish in their impact. The mental response to the stress and the chaos is for me to be more clear and calm. My heart response to these triggers is to be more gentle and more compassionate. The hormonal response is healthier. And, I wish that I could share this energy and this protocol, this approach with everyone that I know who's suffering. But I also recognize that some people are afraid to put the drama, the stress, and the pain behind them because it's so familiar, because it's so known. It's that expression of the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. And that's why we're committed to doing these daily practical idea video segments, because it reminds us that the solutions to what cause us pain, what cause us imbalance and stress exist, and that when we're ready to set aside the excuses that have gotten us here, the solutions are ours for the taking. But you see, I don't want to spend my time chasing people who want to be victims. Instead, I want to donate my time to working with those who are ready to walk away from being a victim, who are ready to find solutions that work for them specifically and others like them. So if you're one of those people who are tired of the pain, tired of the stress, tired of the emotional roller coaster, and want to connect with a community of people dedicated to encouraging and supporting and helping one another find their unique solutions to whatever those challenges happen to be or happen to look like for them in these storms of life, then drop me a message below. I'll send you a private link to a group, to a community we're putting together. It's kind of a grassroots effort. We probably have 30 or 40 people in there right now who are committed to taking that next step, to exploring what their options are to create a healthier version of their lives, a better version of themselves, working with what they've got, where they're at, and saying, no, I'm done with the excuses that have stood in my way, that have made me a victim for so long. So go ahead and drop that comment in the comments below. I'll be sure to get back with you and get you an invitation to the private group. And in the meantime, I really and truly want to encourage you to think about what you can do today. What one or two or three steps can you take today to move you closer toward your personal goals, your relationship goals, your mental wellness goals? And one of those things that you could do at the end of the video, I will share with you a link to a free mental wellness assessment that we're making available to folks through the mental wellness movement that can help, I think, put everything in a sharper focus, a better perspective maybe than what you've got before. But it all begins when you make the decision to come back to this moment, because that's where the power is. The power to make decisions, the power to choose a new direction, and the power to do something about it. It's also where we can fill that moment with gratitude for what we've got, realizing that without that gratitude, there's no reason to think that any more is going to make us any happier. And to always remember, as we say at the end of every broadcast, the best is yet to come. I'll talk to you soon. This is Dr. John Michael Salvato. Thanks for being with us, guys.